Hey everyone, welcome back to Pymind Studio, your go-to place for mastering Python and its amazing applications. In the last module, we learned what Python is, how to set up your environment, and even wrote our first Python program. If you haven't watched that yet, make sure to check it out first. Today, we're diving into Module 2, Variables and Data Types. This is where things start to get exciting, because we'll learn how to store and work with data in Python. By the end of this video, you'll understand what variables are, the different types of data you can store, and how to use them in your programs. Let's get started. Section 1. What are variables? Let's start with the basics. What exactly are variables? In programming, a variable is like a container that holds a value. Think of it as a box where you can store something, like a number, a piece of text, or even a true-false value. For example, let's say you want to store your name in a program. You can create a variable called name and assign it the value Alice. Here's how it looks in Python. In this line, name is the variable, is the assignment operator. Alice is the value we're storing in the variable. You can name your variables almost anything, but there are a few rules. Variable names can't have spaces. Use underscores, instead, like username. They can't start with a number. For example, one name is invalid, but name1 is fine. They're case sensitive, so name and name are two different variables. Let's create a few more variables to see how this works. Here, we've created 3 variables. Age stores an integer, a whole number. Height stores a float, a decimal number. Student stores a Boolean value, true or false. Now that we know how to create variables, let's talk about the different types of data we can store in them. Section 2. Python data types. Python has several built-in data types. The most common ones are integers, int, whole numbers like 10, 5, or 1000. Floats, float, decimal numbers like 3.14, 0.5, or 2.0. Strings, str, text like hello, Python, or 123. Yes, even numbers can be strings if they're in quotes. Booleans, bool, either true or false. Let's see an example of each. The first example is for integer data type age is a variable which is equal to 25, and this value is stored in the age variable. Now the next example is about float data type. Here we are taking height as a variable which will have value is 5.6. Now take another example of string data type. Now taking another variable which is name, and the value for this variable is Alice. Now one more example about the Boolean data type. Student is a variable which has value is true, which we are considering. You can also check the type of a variable using the type function. For example, print type of age, and it will print the type of age variable now, print type of height variable now. Here you can see it will print the type for both statements which are int and float. Further, you can check the type of the other variables by yourself. This is super useful when you're debugging or working with different types of data. Section 3. Typecasting. Sometimes you'll need to convert one data type into another. This is called typecasting. For example, let's say you have 2 numbers stored as strings, num1 10, num2 20. If you try to add them, Python will concatenate the strings instead of adding the numbers. Result, num1 plus num2 print. Result, output 1020. To fix this, you can use typecasting to convert the strings into integers. Result, int num1 plus int num2 print result, output 30. Here's how typecasting works. Int converts a value to an integer. Float converts a value to a float. Str converts a value to a string. Typecasting is a powerful tool, and you'll use it often when working with user input or different data types. Section 4. Input and output. Now that we know how to store data, let's learn how to get input from the user and display output. To take input, we use the input function. For example, name, use, input. Enter your name. Age, input, enter your age. The input function always returns a string, so if you want to use the input as a number, you'll need to cast it. Age, int, input, enter your age. To display output, we use the print function. You can also format your output using f-strings. Print f, hello, name, you are, age, years old. F-strings make it easy to include variables in your output. Let's see another example. Height. Float, input, enter your height in meters. Print f, your height is height meters. This makes your programs interactive and user-friendly. Section 5. Working with strings. Strings are one of the most commonly used data types in Python. Let's learn some basic string operations. Concatenation, combining strings using the plus operator. First name, Alice, last name, Smith, full name, first name, plus last name, print, full name, was output, Alice Smith. Indexing and slicing, accessing specific characters or parts of a string. Text, Python print text. Output, p, first character, print text. Output, with, characters from index 1 to 3. String methods. Python has many built-in methods for working with strings. Text, acts, Python programming, print text, strip. Removes extra spaces, print text, dot lower. Converts to lowercase, print text, dot replace, programming, coding. Replaces a substring. Strings are incredibly versatile, and you'll use them a lot in your programs. Closing scene. And that's a wrap for Module 2, Variables and Data Types. Let's quickly recap what we've learned. Variables are containers for storing data. Python has several data types, including integers, floats, strings, and Booleans. Typecasting allows you to convert one data type into another. You can take user input using input and display output using print. Strings are powerful, and you can manipulate them using indexing, slicing, and built-in methods. In the next module, we'll dive into operators and expressions, where you'll learn how to perform calculations and make decisions in your programs. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Pymind Studio for more Python tutorials. And if you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.